Question 1. In a context of OSI identity and access management, Ista Patel is designing a policy to allow developers in a particular group to manage compute instances only in a specific compartment. What should Ista Patel do to ensure that this control is properly enforced? A. Write a policy granting the developers full access to all compartments in the tenancy. B. Write a policy granting managed permissions to the group on compute instances in the specific compartment only. C. Assign users directly to compartments instead of using groups. D. Create dynamic groups with wildcard policies for the developers. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Proper control of permissions in OSI-IAM requires defining policies with the least privilege principle, granting manage permissions specifically to the developers group on compute instances limited to the targeted compartment restricts access precisely where intended. Assigning users directly to compartments option C is invalid because IAM uses groups and policies, not direct compartment assignments for users. Granting full access to all compartments option A violates the least privilege principle and exposes resources unnecessarily. Dynamic groups option D apply to instances, not user groups, making them irrelevant in this context. Question 2. Given the circumstances of a mission-critical application running on OSI, Isis Lee wants to design the compute infrastructure to maximize uptime during a hardware failure within an availability domain. What OSI feature should she prioritize? A. Launch multiple instances in different regions. B. Use multiple instances spread across fault domains within the same availability domain. C. Use multiple instances in the same fault domain. D. Launch instances only in a single fault domain with auto-scaling enabled. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Choosing a single fault domain for multiple critical instances increases risk. If that fault domain fails, all instances are affected. Auto-scaling can help maintain capacity but cannot protect against hardware failure in a single fault domain. Spreading instances across fault domains is key to resilience in an availability domain. Launching in different regions provides geo-redundancy but increases latency and cost and is not always practical. Therefore, the best practice is to deploy across multiple fault domains within an availability domain to isolate hardware and software failures effectively. Question 3. From the perspective of OSI networking, when configuring a virtual cloud network VCN and needs to allow private instances to access public OSI services such as object storage without using the internet, what is the recommended setup? A. Configure an internet gateway on the VCN and route private subnet traffic through it. B. Set up a NAT gateway and route outbound traffic through it. C. Use a service gateway and appropriate route table entries. D. Establish VCN peering with the OSI public service network. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. A service gateway enables private instances to access OSI public services securely without traversing the public internet, which avoids exposure and reduces latency. Internet gateway, option A, is for direct internet access to public subnets, not private subnets. NAT gateway, option B, enables private instances to initiate outbound internet connections but still goes through the internet, which is unnecessary for OSI public servicer. VCN peering, option D, connect VCNs but does not provide access to OSI public services. Question 4. Demonstrated by a recent project, Ista Ahmed needs to automate scaling of compute resources based on CPU utilization in his OSI instance pool. Which OSI feature should he implement to best achieve this? Auto-scaling with policies triggered by CPU utilization metrics. B. Manual scaling of instances based on monitoring reports. C. Use load balancers to distribute workload without changing instance count. D. Deploy multiple regions and shift traffic between them. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Auto-scaling in OSI is designed to automatically adjust the number of instances in an instance pool based on performance metrics such as EP utilization, ensuring resource optimization and cost effectiveness. Manual scaling, option B, is inefficient and reactive rather than proactive. Load balancers, option C, distribute traffic but do not change the compute capacity. Deploying multiple regions, option D, helps with disaster recovery and latency but not auto-scaling per se. Question 5. Considering the evidence of securing OSI compute instances, Gomez is tasked with granting OSI instances permissions to access object storage buckets without embedding user credentials. Which approach should she take? A. Assign user credentials as environment variables on the instance. B. Use instance principals by creating a dynamic group and associated policies. C. Manually create and rotate API keys on each instance. D. Enable public read access on the object storage bucket. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Instance principals provide a secure credential-free method for OSI instances to authenticate and access services. This is achieved by creating a dynamic group for instances and policies, granting permissions accordingly, assigning user credentials as environment variables, option A, or manually rotating API keys, option C, is insecure and operationally cumbersome. Enabling public read access, option exposes data to anyone, violating security best practices. Question 6. Within the framework of OSI storage services, ISTA-SING plans to store large volumes of unstructured data that require infrequent access but high durability. Which OSI storage service and tier should he choose? A. Block volume with standard performance. B. Object storage archive tier. C. File storage service with high throughput. D. Object storage standard tier. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Object storage standard tier is optimized for high durability and frequent access to unstructured data, making it suitable for most large-scale storage needs. The archive tier is for infrequently accessed data but has high retrieval latency. Block volumes, option A, are for block-level storage attached to compute instances, not ideal for unstructured data. File storage, option C, is NFS system more suitable for file-level access and shared workloads. Question 7. Taking into account the principles of OSI-EM Federation, Isis Martinez needs to integrate OSI with her enterprise's Active Directory for user authentication. What must she configure to enable this integration securely? A. Establish direct VPN between OSI and the ad server. B. Set up an identity provider in OSI and configure SAML Trust with Active Directory Federation services apps. C. Export ad users and import them into OSI as local users. D. Create OSI users with the same usernames and passwords as ad users. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. OSI-EM Federation requires setting up a SAML Trust relationship with an external identity provider such as apps, which allows users to authenticate with their enterprise credentials without managing them separately in OSI. Establishing a YISHNE is network connectivity, not identity federation. Exporting and importing users, option C, duplicates identities and defeats single sign-on purposes. Creating OSI users locally, option D, is not scalable and introduces password management issues. Question 8. In light of recent developments in OSI database services, ISTA Wilson is architecting a high-availability solution for his Oracle database on OSI. He requires near-zero downtime during maintenance. What OSI feature combination should he use? A. Deploy a single autonomous database with manual backups. B. Use Oracle Real Application Clusters (RAC) across multiple availability domains with DataGuard. C. Use DataGuard only with asynchronous replication across regions. D. Deploy a multiple standalone of M or B systems with scheduled failover. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Oracle Real Application Clusters (RAC) provide clustered database instances for high availability, but DataGuard is for disaster recovery and replication. Autonomous database offers self-driving, self-securing, and self-repairing features with minimal downtime and automatic patching, making it ideal for near-zero downtime during maintenance. Single autonomous database with automated backup supports availability, whereas asynchronous DataGuard, option C, can have lag and downtime. Multiple standalone DBS, option D, require manual intervention and are not optimal. Question 9. By evaluating OSI networking security, ISCHEN wants to isolate traffic at the subnet level and control ingress and egress traffic between subnets within. See which OSI component best allows her to achieve this. A. Network security groups SEDS attached to individual VNICs. B. Security lists applied to subnets. C. Internet gateway with access control lists. D. Route tables defining traffic routes. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Security lists are applied at the subnet level and control inbound and outbound traffic rules for all VNICs in the subnet. Network security GRUS NADS are more granular and apply to individual VNICs or groups of instances, but do not govern subnet level traffic broadly. Internet gateways option C provide internet access but do not filter traffic within VCNS. Route tables option D direct traffic paths but do not filter or isolate traffic. Question 10. Taking into account OSI Fast Connect capabilities, Mr. Roberts is asked to design a solution that requires a dedicated, private, high-bandwidth connection from his on-premises data center to OSI. What key advantage does Fast Connect provide over site-to-site VPN? A. Encrypted connection over the public internet. B. Provides a dedicated physical connection with consistent performance. C. Automatically scales bandwidth based on traffic. D. Uses internet-based IPsec tunnels. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Fast Connect offers a dedicated private connection between on-premises and OSI, ensuring lower latency, higher bandwidth, and more consistent performance than VPN, which relies on encrypted tunnels over the public internet. VPN connections are typically encrypted over the internet, which can be less reliable and variable in performance. Fast Connect does not automatically scale bandwidth. The bandwidth is according to the selected plan, so option C is incorrect. The key benefit is the dedicated physical connectivity ensuring consistent throughput. Question 11. When considering OSI compartments, Jackson wants to segregate resources for different business units while ensuring centralized billing and policy management. What is the best practice she should follow? A. Create multiple tenancies, one per business unit, and consolidate billing manually. B. Use a single tenancy with separate compartments for each business unit and apply compartment-level policies. C. Assign resources to different regions based on business units. D. Use dynamic groups to segregate resources between business units. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. A single tenancy with multiple compartments provides logical separation of resources while maintaining centralized billing and unified policy management, which simplifies governance and cost control. Multiple tenancies option A complicate billing and cross-tenancy management. Segregating by region option C does not align with business units' organizational needs and can increase latency and cost. Groups option D manage instances based on attributes not for business unit segregation. Question 12. In light of recent developments, Mr. Kumar needs to ensure that logs from OSI compute instances and network components are collected and analyzed centrally to detect anomalies. Which OSI service is designed primarily for this purpose? A. Monitoring service with metrics and alarms. B. Logging service to collect, store, and analyze logs. C. Vault for secure key management. D. Web application firewall WAF to block malicious traffic. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. The logging service is specifically designed to collect, store, and analyze logs from various OSI resources for audit and troubleshooting. Monitoring service option A deals with metrics, not log data. Vault option C manages encryption keys unrelated to log collection. WAF option D protects web applications by blocking attacks but does not perform centralized log collection or analysis across all resources. Question 13. Given the circumstances of a high-throughput application, Mr. Lee wants to optimize the network latency between two VCNS in different regions. Which OSI feature should he use to achieve the lowest latency and highest bandwidth? A. Configure site-to-site VPN between the VCNS. B. Use VCN peering within the same region only. C. Establish VCN peering across regions. Remote VCN peering. D. Use the Internet Gateway for cross-region traffic. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. VCN peering within the same region. Local VCN peering provides low latency, high bandwidth connectivity between ECNS as the traffic remains on Oracle's backbone network. Remote VCN peering option C enables cross-region connection but typically has higher latency due to geographical distance. Site-to-site VPN option A routes traffic over the public internet, increasing latency and reliability. Internet Gateway option D is for internet access and is not designed for private cross-region VCN traffic. Question 14. Based on the information about OSI database migration, Isis Rogers wants to migrate an on-premises Oracle database to OSI with minimal downtime. Which approach aligns best with this requirement? A. Export data to flat files and import after provisioning the OSI database. B. Use DataGuard for replication and perform a switch over to OSI. C. Take manual backups and restore on OSI asynchronously. D. Migrate using a snapshot of the on-premises disk and upload it to OSI. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Using DataGuard for replication allows near real-time data synchronization between on-premises and OSI, facilitating minimal downtime during switchover. Exporting importing flat files. Option A can be time-consuming and requires significant downtime. Manual backup and restore asynchronously. Option C introduces lag and increases downtime risk. Disk snapshot upload. Option D is not a recommend. Migration approach as it may cause data inconsistency and requires downtime. Question 15. While examining OSI compute shapes, Sister Singh is tasked with selecting an instance shape optimized for high memory intensive workloads with minimal CPU overhead. Which shape family should he choose? A. Standard shapes offering balanced CPU and memory. B. Dense shapes optimized for storage throughput. C. Memory optimized shapes with higher rack to EPU ratios. E. GPU shapes for parallel processing workloads. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Memory optimized shapes provide a higher ratio of RAM, CPU suitable for memory-intensive applications. Standard shapes balance CPU and memory, which may not meet high memory demands. Dense shapes are optimized for storage throughput, not memory. GPU shapes, option D, provide parallel processing power for compute-heavy tasks like AI, but are not specialized for memory workloads. Question 16. For the purpose of securing sensitive keys and secrets in OSI, Is Roberts wants to adopt a solution that enables centralized management with lifecycle control and audit capabilities. Which OSI service best meets this need? A. Vault service for encryption keys and secrets management. B. Logging service for tracking resource usage. C. Monitoring service to create alarms for suspicious activity. D. Network security groups for restricting network access. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. OSI Vault provides centralized management of encryption keys and secrets with secure storage, lifecycle management, and audit logging. Logging and monitoring services provide observability but do not manage secrets. Network security groups control network traffic but do not manage keys or secrets. Question 17. Considering the evidence in OSI security architecture, Istio Tran needs to design a multi-layered network security approach to protect workloads. Which combination best aligns with OSI security best practices? A. Security lists on subnets and network security groups attached to VNICs. B. Only security lists on subnets. C. Only network security groups on instances. D. Internet gateway and NAT gateway with no additional controls. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Security lists apply at the subnet level to control ingress and egress traffic, providing broad protections. Network security groups and ADS offer more granular, instance-level controls, but complement rather than replace security lists. Relying solely on one, option B or C, reduces security layers. Internet and NAT gateways facilitate traffic flow but do not provide security controls. Question 18. The fundamental question is, when designing an OSI auto-scaling policy for an instance pool, which metric and threshold combination is most effective to balance performance and cost? A. Set CPU utilization threshold too low to scale out aggressively. B. Use disk EO metrics to trigger scaling. C. Set a reasonable CPU utilization threshold that triggers scaling before saturation. D. Use network bandwidth as the sole metric. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. EPU utilization is the most commonly used metric for auto-scaling, with thresholds carefully tuned to trigger scaling before resource saturation occurs, balancing performance and cost. Disk EO metrics are less frequently used and may not reflect overall instance load. Network bandwidth alone might not indicate CPU memory pressure, leading to ineffective scaling decisions. Setting thresholds too low unnecessary scaling and increased cost. Question 19. Several experts suggest that when migrating workloads to OSI, one critical consideration is the shared responsibility model. Which statement best reflects this concept? A. Oracle is responsible for securing the customer's data. B. Customers are responsible for securing the OSI physical infrastructure. C. Oracle secures the cloud infrastructure while customers secure their data and applications. D. Customers have no security responsibilities once data is in OSI. Answer. Correct answer. 8. Explanation. The shared responsibility model clearly states Oracle manages and secures the cloud infrastructure, including hardware, software, and networking, while customers are responsible for securing their data, applications, user access, and configurations. Oracle does not secure customer data. Option A. Customers do not manage physical infrastructure. Option B. Saying customers have no responsibility. Option D is false. Question 20. With respect to OSI object storage lifecycle management, Mr. Johnson wants to automate moving infrequently accessed objects to a low-cost storage tier while retaining frequently accessed objects in standard storage. Which approach should he implement? A. Configure lifecycle policies with rules that transition objects based on age or access patterns. B. Manually copy objects between tiers every month. C. Use block volumes for storing all objects. D. Enable versioning to automatically archive old versions. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Lifecycle management policies in object storage enable automatic transition of objects between storage tiers, standard, infrequent access, archive based on object age or access frequency, optimizing cost. Manual copying. Option B is error-prone and inefficient. Block volumes. Option C are not used for object storage data. Versioning. Option D preserves object versions but manage tier transitions automatically. Question 21. From a practical standpoint, is Fernandez designing a multi-region OSI architecture that requires continuous availability even if an entire region fails? Which design principle should she prioritize? A. Deploy compute instances only in one region with auto-scaling. B. Use multiple availability domains within a single region. C. Implement cross-region disaster recovery with data guard or backup replication. D. Use a single availability domain with multiple fault domains. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Cross-region disaster recovery strategies like data guard or asynchronous backup replication provide resilience against a whole region failure, ensuring continuous availability. Multiple availability domains or fault domains protect against failures within a region but not across regions. Auto-scaling in one region does not guarantee availability if that region fails. Question 22. In the context of OSI Virtual Cloud Network (VCN), design ISTA wants to restrict traffic between a public subnet hosting web servers and a private subnet hosting databases. Which OSI feature should he configure? A. Internet gateway rules. B. Security lists on the subnets with explicit allowed any rules. C. Route tables to block traffic. D. NAT gateway with restrictive policies. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Security lists provide stateful firewall rules at the subnet level, allowing granular control of ingress and egress traffic between subnets. Internet gateway only controls internet access. Route tables control traffic routing but cannot filter traffic, and NAT gateway enables outbound internet access from private subnets but does not filter subnet to subnet traffic. Question 23. Given the circumstances, ISTA is tasked with granting OSI compute instances permissions to access object storage securely without using user credentials or API keys. What OSI construct must he implement? A. Create and manage user API keys for each instance. B. Enable instance principals via dynamic groups and associated policies. C. Store user credentials on each instance as environment variables. D. Configure public read access on the object storage bucket. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Enabling instance principals by creating dynamic groups and policies lets OSI compute instances authenticate securely without user credentials or API keys. Creating and managing API keys manually or embedding credentials is insecure and operationally challenging. Public read access compromises security by exposing bucket data to everyone. Question 24. Under the assumption that a high availability database is required with minimal data loss in the event of failure, which OSI database technology combination best suits this requirement? A. Autonomous database with manual backups only. B. Real application clusters rack combined with data guard for replication. C. Single lemma. B. System with automated snapshots. D. Bare metal DB system without clustering. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. RAC provides high availability within a region by clustering, while Data Guard ensures disaster recovery with replication to a standby database, minimizing downtime and data loss. Autonomous database automates management but may not meet strict op-auto without additional features. Single instance DBS with snapshots provide limited availability, and bare metal without clustering risk single point fit. Question 25. Considering the evidence in OSI monitoring, which approach offers the most proactive response to service performance degradation? A. Periodic manual review of resource metrics. B. Configuring metric alarms with automatic notifications and remediation actions. C. Setting up dashboards for visual monitoring only. D. Using logs exclusively to analyze issues post-failure. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Configuring metric alarms allows immediate automated alerting and potential remediation, enabling proactive responses to performance issues. Periodic manual reviews and dashboards. Option C. Provide visibility but rely on human intervention. Logs. Option D. Are reactive and useful for root cause analysis but not proactive detection. Question 26. In light of OSI network security best practices, which statement best explains the difference between security lists and network security groups? ADS. A. Security lists are applied at the instance level. EOS apply to subnets. B. Security lists are stateful firewall rules at the subnet level. EOS are more granular and applied to individual VNICs or groups of ENICs. C. SADS control routing tables. Security lists control DNS traffic. D. Security lists are for ingress traffic only. EOS handle egress traffic only. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Security lists are stateless or stateful firewall rules applied at the subnet level. Controlling all VNICs in the subnet allow granular security controls applied directly to individual VNICs or a group of VNICs, offering flexible traffic filtering in ADS, do not control routing, nor are security lists specific to DNS traffic, and both can control ingress and egress traffic. Question 27. As illustrated by recent cloud adoption trends, Eastern UN is designing a hybrid cloud environment connecting OSI with on-premises data centers, which OSI connectivity option offers a secure private connection with consistent performance, a site-to-site VPN over the internet, b. Fast Connect dedicated physical connection, c. Internet gateway configured for private IP ranges, d. NAT gateway with port forwarding. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Fast Connect provides a dedicated private connection between on-premises data centers and OSI, offering lower latency, higher bandwidth, and more consistent performance than VPN over the internet. Internet gateway allows internet traffic but does not provide private connectivity. NAT gateway facilitates outbound internet from private subnets and is unrelated to hybrid connectivity. Question 20. While evaluating OSI object storage lifecycle management, Isjiao wants to implement automated cost optimization. Which action should she take? A. Set lifecycle policies to transition objects to archive storage after a defined period. B. Manually move objects to different storage tiers each month. C. Disable object versioning to reduce storage consumption. D. Store all objects in block volumes for faster access. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. OSI object storage lifecycle management automates transitions of objects between tiers, standard, infrequent access, archive based on rules, optimizing cost without manual intervention. Manually moving objects is inefficient and error-prone. Disabling versioning reduces stored versions but does not affect tiering. Block volumes are not used for object storage. Question 29. The primary reason for using dynamic groups in OSIIM is A. To group OSI users based on job roles. B. To assign policies to compute instances or resources dynamically based on attributes without managing user credentials. C. To create static user groups with fixed membership. D. To enforce password policies for users. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Dynamic groups allow OSI to apply policies directly to compute instances or other resources based on instance metadata, enabling secure permissions without managing user credentials. User groups, not dynamic groups, organize users by job role. Static groups have fixed members and do not dynamically adjust. Password policies relate to user account management, unrelated to dynamic groups. Question 30. When analyzing OSI autoscaling behavior, which statement best explains how autoscaling balances cost efficiency and workload performance? A. Autoscaling increases instance count only during OEP usage to save cost. B. Autoscaling triggers scaling actions based on defined performance metrics and thresholds to add or remove instances dynamically. C. Autoscaling is manually triggered by administrators to control costs. D. Autoscaling shuts down instances during peak traffic. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Autoscaling monitors performance metrics like CPU utilization and automatically adds instances when load increases and removes them when demand drops, balancing performance with cost efficiency. Increasing instance count at low EP usage would be inefficient. Autoscaling is automatic, not manual. It does not shut down instances during peak traffic but scales out.